Alrighty guys, we're back for Gruul Warriors, and this is an Outlaws of Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, this was a suggestion down in the comments, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. It was essentially just to make a Railway Brawler list, so I went with Warriors because this is a Rhino Warrior. It's a 5-mana, 5/5 reach and trample. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. That seems like a pretty good ability. Then also this has plot for just 3 and a green. So for that cost, you exile this, cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost, plot only as a sorcery as well. The card kinda seems good, doesn't it? So we have a lot of really neat things packed in that's going to work well with Railway Brawler. One of them is not a warrior, unfortunately, but it is Calamity, Galloping Inferno, 6 mana, 4/6, legendary creature, horse mount. It does have haste, and when it attacks while saddled, you choose a non-legendary creature that's saddled at this turn and create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step, and then you repeat this process once. So you're getting a couple tokens of whatever saddled it. That seems good, especially when paired with that Railway Brawler, because that first token comes in as a 10/10 because of the extra counters from the first Brawler, and then the second comes in and it gets the counters to 10, and then it gets more counters from the Brawler token, right? So it would be a 20/20. So if you actually saddle up Calamity with the Brawler, you have like 30 trample damage swinging on through. At least I believe that's how it works. I believe it stacks like that, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see if we can pull that off today, huh? But what are some of the other warriors that we got packed in? Well, first of all, we do have all 4 Cavern of Souls, which we'll be calling warrior on more often than not. Then also a Secluded Courtyard too, same concept. I guess every now and then you might call like Horsey to make sure that Calamity doesn't get countered or something, right, on the Cavern of Souls. But anyway, some warriors here on the top end. Gruff Triplets, as a one-of. It's a 6 mana, 3/3 trample. And when it ETBs, if it isn't a token, you create 2 tokens that are copies of it. And then when Gruff Triplets dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to its power on each creature you control named Gruff Triplets. That's interesting. So when it ETBs, you get that top ability if it isn't a token. But even if you like use Calamity to saddle up a Triplets and you're swinging in with that Triplets, it sacrifices itself at the end anyway, so it'll still buff your other Triplets too. So that's interesting. Okay, more warriors. Jaxis, the Troublemaker. Oh my goodness, Jaxis, it's been a while. What the heck do you do? A 4 mana, 2/3 legendary creature. It is a human warrior. For 1 red mana, you tap this, discard a card. You create a token, that's a copy, of another creature you control. It gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery, and then this in and of itself also has Blitz for just 1 and a red. So it's kind of a very similar concept to having Calamity, Galloping, Inferno in here, where we just wouldn't mind copying a Railway Brawler or something, you know? A whole bunch of other stuff with ETBs that we just don't mind copying. Jaxis, hopefully you do a thing today. Other warriors, we have Voldaren Thrillseeker. Got that backup too, that's pretty wild. And then the bottom ability is for just 1 mana. You sacrifice this creature. It deals damage equal to its power to any target, which could be a huge amount of power if we have that Railway Brawler also just stacking counters onto things as they ETB. Also have Sentinel of the Nameless City. When it ETBs or attacks, you create that map token. The map tokens can also put counters onto things, also just flush some land into our hand. Wouldn't be bad at all. Kind of have a modified theme in here, Invigorating Hot Springs. So creatures we control that are modified have haste. Okay, and this also enters with 4 +1/+1 counters on it, and then once per turn you can remove a +1/+1 counter, put it onto a creature and be very happy about it. I think this is going to go a long way, especially with Brawler, of course, right? Because now the things that are entering with all those extra counters will have haste. Seems pretty solid. So we also have Samut here. This is a 3 mana, 2/3 first strike vigilance haste. It is a legendary creature, only a 1/of for a good reason. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, if that creature entered the battlefield this turn, you draw a card. So a little bit of a way to replenish our hand. Interested to see how much this is actually going to do today, though. But it is a warrior, so it fits that theme. More warriors. We have Radha's Firebrand. Beautiful stuff, man. Been a while. We got Cacophony Scamp in here too, also a warrior. That fits really nicely with the Thrillseeker and everything else. Also, Thrillseeker backup, of course, working with that modified theme with the Hot Springs, and then Kami's Flare is our choice spot removal, 3 damage to creature or planeswalker. If you have a modified creature, it deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller as well, which I think very often will be doing that extra 2 damage to the opponent. Also have a Hammer Hand in here too, to more ways to give our creatures haste, kind of sort of acting as, I don't want to call it removal, right? But you're taking a big chunky blocker out of the equation for the turn too, so that could come in handy. Rest of the mana base, guys, we have some dual land. Restless Ridgeline made the cut. Who Endures, of course, Crucible of Defiance for a total of 26 mana. Hopefully that's enough, honestly. Like, maybe we'll talk about 27. It seems like a very expensive list, but it should be enough overall, right? It's not like we have a lot of 7 and 8 drops in here, but it is a pretty hefty top end here with a lot of 5 drops and 6 drops. Okay, guys, we'll save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. Okay, guys, right into that first match. What am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be super janky, bro. But hey, I wouldn't be playing it if I didn't think it was going to do a thing here or there. Uh-oh, no red source. 26 mana. This is the mulligan, huh? Right? If we don't see a third, the opponent goes first here too. If we don't see the third for the Sentinel, like, sure, those map tokens could help us find what we need, but no, yeah, we got a mulligan. There we go. Man, I really don't want to send Calamity, but we're pretty far from Calamity with only 2 mana in hand. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes me sad, though. Oh, Gruul versus Gruul. You like to see it? I'll take that 1 to get Scamp down. Opponent dropping some emotes. Let's see what I got for you. I'll give them the wave. Intrepid Paleontologist. Okay. Well, we have Hammer Hand. Crap. If we don't see that third, I'll tell you what. Ow, my face. And you can't block, and I'll swing with the 2. Sacrifice it, take out Paleontologist? Nah, not yet. Probably not. The ramp is pretty good, but, like, losing 2 cards now isn't the greatest. We're just doing that essentially to do something for the turn. Like, you know, the Rockfall Vale comes down tapped, so we didn't have, like, a blitzing Jaxis, which kind of filters itself out then, as blitz cards do. Gwenna, lots of ramp. Okay. Come on, land off the top, and I think we'll go Hot Springs to get a little greedy here, maybe. Plug a counter into Scamp, get a swing. We go for the swing. They say we're not planning on blocking anyways, so... Alright, unfortunately, we do not see the mana. 26 mana. Yeah, we might talk about 27, honestly, but Jaxis luckily does a thing kind of sort of here. So I'm going to take out the Paleontologist if they block the Scamp first of all. Actually, the Gwenna trade might be better. Yeah. Yeah, Gwenna tapping for 2. Okay. Give me that land, Jaxis. Oh, no. Oh, Kami's Flare is pretty good, though. But now we don't have a modified creature. Yearling comes down. We still have a 3-mana Dino, maybe? They go for the swing. That's it for the turn, huh? There it is. 3rd mana. All right. Well... Thrillseeker can come down, and we'll have a blocker on the board. It's just a 3/3, but it is modified. If we do that, Kami's Flare could happen next turn for extra damage. If we go, like, Hot Spring for the turn now, I think it's just Thrillseeker number 1. I think creature on the board might be a little bit more valuable. Because if we just go Hot Spring, that's it. Like, that's all we got. They swing for 5 next turn, and we're down to 9, and that's if they don't see anything else that they'd rather do for the turn, too, so... I think just getting the creature down makes sense. And even if it is removal, I mean, if we set up with Hot Springs and then have like Thrillseeker, it is just going to be removal too. Going to be a swing for 5. Cacophony Scamp. Okay, so get the blocker down, have Kami's Flare open for removal. We shouldn't worry about getting that 2 damage through to the opponent's face. That's kind of just like a bonus of Kami's Flare. A little bonus if you happen to have it or happen to have a setup to have it. Okay. Get rid of the Jaxis. The opponent doesn't seem to be seeing the mana they need either. Bone Horde Dracosaur. Crap, dude. Should I have taken out Paleontologist before they were able to tap down? Crap. Okay, we do have the Destruction of the Yearling here, which I suppose we'll do. We really should have taken out the Paleontologist, though, but we're taking less damage now, too, so that's all noteworthy. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we are out of this game, huh? We'll go Thrillseeker onto Scamp. We'll swing with Scamp. Oh, they have first strike anyways, but now we take out the Paleontologist. But like, I mean, we're kind of like out of this game regardless, right? Especially with Brawler and then only seeing the 3 mana this game, and we had to mulligan too. Oh, buddy, we were super duper out of this one. I guess we could have potentially been in it for a couple more turns if I had taken out the Paleontologist in time. We'd have taken a little bit of extra damage. And then they found their 5th on the next turn. So Dracosaur was still coming down. Yeah, no, I mean, at that point, we realistically, we just needed much more here. And I will also return the good game. We ended up seeing the second Calamity there, too. Trumpeting Connoisseur. Yeah, now they're seeing the mana. Yeah, so we were kind of both in the same boat. Ooh, fight rigging. Yeah, we'll let them pop off. We'll let them do the thing. They might have a quest. Let's see if this is a big dino. Plus, watching dinosaurs pop off is pretty fun, too. Oh, it's a second fight rigging. Honestly, seeing a fight rigging off of the first fight rigging, it really isn't that bad. As long as you get to have another turn, you know? So the first strike hits before the creature actually does the thing here, too. So they still have 1 mana open. It's got to be a royal treatment. Interesting, interesting. So that's their choice protection there, huh? Wonder why I wonder how many of the royal treatments there are and what the decision process for royal treatment over something like Snakeskin Veil is. Like, if royal treatment's a one of, I guess that makes sense, right? But for Snakeskin Veil, well, they might not have the new, I guess Snakeskin Veil just came out too, I guess. But for Snakeskin Veil, the counters stack, whereas the Royal Roll doesn't. But also, the Royal Roll keeps the ward around as well, so it's actually one of those things where it really depends on the deck and how much you value that extra ward versus how much you value extra counters. Like this deck, for example, I feel like we'd value the counters more, maybe? Much better hand than the first one, guys. Like, yeah, we have 26 mana in here, so get the Scamp down. Turn 1, easy peasy. Ooh, a turn 2, huh? I'd say that's worthwhile. Swing with the Scamp, decline. And the Firebrand. Really good lineup, really good draw. Naya colors over there. All right. Swing for 4. No removal, huh? Decline. Sentinel. The map token might really come in handy. 3rd. Wedding announcement. So we get to take that blocker out of the equation, guys. Radha's Firebrand is pretty good. All right. We will plug that onto the Scamp. Ooh, another Scamp, huh? I'll send it. I want I want more mana. I mean, we could have plotted the Brawler for the turn, but this is pretty big damage. We probably want to play around a board wipe too. So we're probably just going to do... I guess the plot would have been pretty good. So we'll decline. Play around the board wipe. So map token again while we have it. Onto the Scamp. Ooh, land. So we have our 5th land. Yep. End turn, because it could be a depopulate turn pretty easily. And then Scamp is going to do 2 to their face. Not a Sunfall turn, so it's not exiles yet. We could have played Scamp number 2, I guess. Still gotten some damage through that way. Temporary lockdown. Okay. Okay. So Sentinel gets to stick around. And Brawler doesn't have haste, remember. Since it was an exile. They have a trump blocker for the turn as well. Maybe we do end up plotting the Brawler then instead and getting Scamp down for the turn too. Brawler next turn. Sentinel comes down nice and beefy. I don't know when the plot is worth it, because now we gotta say, okay, well, Sunfall can come down next turn. They don't go for the chump here. I guess we awkwardly play around next turn, and like, remember, we don't have haste on Brawler, but we could see like an Invigorating Hot Springs off the top or something. At that point too, we might as well use the map token, which we would have wanted to do before plotting. Whoa, triplets. We do have the mana for that, don't we? Yeah, what the heck, man? Let's keep it on top. Let's do this, huh? Because we go Brawler, triplets next turn. Okay, Angel Fire Ignition. Wow. I mean, I'm gonna risk the block, right? They go back up to 6. Hopefully it's not like a... Okay, like a Monstrous Rage or something, but yeah. They're doing that. They got another token. And like at any point, we could be in danger. We start with the swing. Their blocks might tell us exactly what their next turn is going to do. And like, now it very well could be the Sunfall that we're trying to play around. Okay, start with the swing. Map token. Because a double block here... Actually, a double block is really good for them, isn't it? Because they still get to keep the 2/2 around. They just don't know what's in hand. So they go for the chump. They're probably going to go for the Angel Fire Ignition again next turn then. So if they do that, it's not a board wipe. Guys, I'm scared. I'm scared to get the triplets down. But it's so freaking cool, man. I'm doing it. Let's go. Risk it all. Whee! Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm not looking. I'm looking away. What is it? Connoisseur. Helix. Actually, that doesn't do much for them. GG opponent. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. That's a board, huh? Let me look at this. No. Aw, I keep doing that. I keep clicking through instead of hitting the view battlefield up here. Oh, wow. That was sick, huh? Yeah, so if we were like sitting here like guaranteeing or like if we were really invested in getting the victory, how would we have wanted to play around that Sunfall or potential board wipe, right? Like, what would have been the thing? Just keeping the card plotted, playing some of the smaller stuff, and just like keeping the triplets back too for after the board wipe, because that like reestablishes the board right away too. Opponent goes first. This is a slow hand, but like we also can't ask for too much, as the majority of the deck is like 3 mana, and then like a lot of other expensive things too. I think we'll try it. I think if okay, it's gonna be a swamp. I was gonna say I think if it's gonna be like mono red aggro or something, then it is what it is. Like even if we mulligan and find some of our 1 and 2s, that doesn't guarantee anything. So more mana is not terrible. Phyrexian Arena, nice. Alright, there's one of our 1-drops. Sentinel comes down, and we're probably going to go right into the plot on the Brawler next turn. 4th mana, and Gildred's Edict, nice. Jaxis, that's good. We're going to go for that plot. Call Warrior. Yeah, because if we play Sentinel and Scamp, then I guess Scamp plays around another Shieldred's Edict. But like also just like more spot removal in general. I think like plotting the Brawler makes a lot of sense. Warrior. We go Brawler number 1, Brawler number 2. They got 5 mana open, guys. Like this is spot removal the deck, I bet. Alright, so first this Brawler. If we go Jaxis and we create a token that's a copy of a target, like the spot removal is the big thing here. We want to do as much as possible without worrying too much about our things getting removed. So at that point, it's probably going to be Sentinel into Scamp into Map. So Brawler's a goner is what I'm getting at. Oh! Everything's a goner? We got those ETBs. So both of these are probably going to die then. Maybe I should have started with Scamp then. Oh, March on the Sentinel. Okay, well, I'm going to stick to the plan. Get Scamp down. Map token. Even more mana wouldn't be terrible, yeah. Getting that off the top. Map tokens are so good, dude. I can't believe it. Brawler's on this board. And it stayed on the board too. Maybe I should have just went with that second Brawler. Maybe the opponent's hand is Swamp, and that's it. 6 more Swamp in the opponent's hand. Virtue on the Scamp. Okay. So unfortunately this is 0 since that's a minus spell. There's the go for the throat for the Brawler. Okay, now they're dumping the removal. So we still have Brawler. It probably gets removed, right? So 4 pieces of removal so far of just spot removal. 1, 2, 3. Go. If we plot and blitz the Jaxis. Jaxis is one of those things where against a spot removal heavy deck, it's probably better just to blitz it anyways. Brawler number 2 getting plotted might be a very similar concept. Okay, we're just going to plot for the turn, and that's it. Oh, we're still going to keep Jaxis for a little bit of explosion. We'll see. So they still had 2 swamps open. Every turn they're drawing 2, too. So, like, the plot kind of sets us back a little bit. Oh, okay. They tap out here. Okay. I'm going to get the red source down over Cavern because we already have 2 Caverns on the board. So we can go... We go Brawler, right? We go Jaxis Blitz, because it doesn't have haste otherwise. And then we activate the ability to copy the Brawler. Get rid of Cavern of Souls, because filtering out is pretty good here. And then that's swinging for 10, and we still have Sentinel and the map token available. I think we're going to go probably onto the first Brawler here, because these are both going to sacrifice themselves. So we're going to get 2 cards back into our hand. It's down to 12. We're going to go Sentinel, get the extra counters, and then probably go counters onto the Brawler. Oh, yeah, dude, that doubles too. Woohoo! that's a 12-13 Sentinel. And we draw 2, Jaxis and Brawler. This is sick, dude. Tommy's Flare, I don't know if that's actually going to do anything, but Calamity. Oh, buddy. So let's see what they pick up with the Virtue. Probably Sentinel, right? And Sentinel gets around the Kami's Flare. But nothing gets around Calamity Brawler play, huh? Except spot removal. But we don't talk about that. 8th mana coming down from the opponent. They're at 11. Getting that Virtue in time. Only 4 pieces of spot removal so far. So wait, how many pieces did I just say? Only 4 pieces of spot removal so far. And we can expect the 5th is coming. Well, Shieldred, that kind of counts, huh? Okay, well, whichever one we don't remove, the other one probably gets picked up too, right? So unfortunately, we will sacrifice the poor Sentinel. Come on, Brawler. Stick around for this Calamity play. They still have 2 mana open. Acklazote's on the top. Come on, tap out. No, keep the Brawler. Oh, they just decided to game life there. Oh, guys, you know what that means. Oh, buddy, this is going to be cool. Oh, let me play it out. Let me play it out. Let me play it out. Don't go anywhere, opponent, please. Please. Copy. Oh, buddy, look at how cool that is, man. That's 30 trampling damage. GG, opponent. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Oh, buddy, that is why we play Magic the Gathering. There's nothing better. Going against spot removal the deck. Taking it out. That's good stuff. All we needed was the Brawler to survive the turn. I'm taking it back, dude. That was awesome. Yeah, literally just can't ask for anything better than that. The rest of the matches can go however the heck they want to go. Like, there's that big thing that once we start getting those big creatures on the board, yeah, if they are able to, like, survive the turn, then the deck has an opportunity to do so much. Opponent goes first. Right. I believe we can't realistically complain too much about this hand, right? Okay. Rockfall Vale. Totally fine. Call Warrior on the Cavern. Plains. Radha's Firebrand. Removal. Are they looking at my Firebrand and deciding it's not worthy of their removal? You monster. You're making fun of my Firebrand. Uh-oh, they missed a 3rd drop. Well, that kind of sucks. I'm not gonna play Thrillseeker for the turn and probably just keep the Kami's Flare open, guys. We go Thrillseeker onto the Firebrand, it's extra damage, but they could still have spot removal here. I'd rather just, like, wait, you know what I mean? And everything in hand is worth waiting for. Because we could go Thrillseeker Hammerhand onto the Thrillseeker next turn, too, and have, like, a better swing. So we can go... Okay, they opt for the Get Lost on Firebrand now. Okay. More mana isn't terrific. The opponent doesn't have too much over there with only 2 mana. So we're going to do what we can, use those map tokens instead of the hammer hand, and see what we see. There we go. Okay, we'll keep Sentinel on top for sure. A 4/4 Thrillseeker isn't bad when the opponent's missing mana, which really, really sucks, guys. Hey, maybe we'll get to showcase more corners of this deck, though, huh? Sentinel, hammer hand... And Sentinel can't block. Swing for a lot. because we can sacrifice the Thrillseeker for 4, but we probably don't want to do that. We'll just activate the map token. Yeah, GG opponent. GG, buddy. I'm not sure why I put the map token on... Hold on. View battlefield. Not sure why I put it on Sentinel instead of Thrillseeker, because we want that bottom ability on the Thrillseeker to have this power as much as possible, to actually have it deal as much as possible if they do end up getting chump blockers down and whatnot. That map token probably should have went on the Thrillseeker. Also, Kami's Flare chilling in hand too. The opponent desperately needed to see mana. Oh! It was an Azorius build too. So they kept a risky hand, I would say, huh? Unless they had like 2 planes and they had like Celestis in hand. And then they were like, okay, all I need to do is see one of my other 28 mana in the build, and then we'll play Celestis for mana fixing. Dude, I bet it was something along those lines for the opponent. And every now and then, Magic the Gathering, it comes after ya. Yeah, that sucks, but is what it is. I like to see the Hammer Hand doing a thing that game, helping us speed things along a little bit. We go first, dude? All right. I'm down. Yeah, I love the horsies so much. Toss him an apple. What happens when we click on the opponent's horsey? Oh, we toss the opponent's horsey an apple too. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, Cavern and Warrior. All right. Swing for 1. Decline. Firebrand. We gotta keep our eye out too for when it's gonna be good to proliferate off the Scamp. Don't know how often it will be, but like every now and then we might want to do that sacrifice for a proliferate. Oh, they swing here, so... Oh. They don't swing. I mean, with this hand, we have no chance of outpacing. So Firebrand specifically reads with power less than Firebrand's, so... 1, 2... Okay, the domain... The cheapest the domain can be in here is 4 mana, which would be next turn. So we just keep everything back. I don't think that's a great block at all for us. It might be a good block on the other end, but like swinging in, yeah, that trade is better for them. That's rough, that's rough. Etching means the death doesn't happen on Scamp if we block. Alright, I'm keeping it as a trump blocker for something bigger, but I think we're in big trouble. Oh no. Oh no, more mana. Well. Power up Foundry. Yeah, we're gonna have to chump with Scamp for the turn, I would assume. No, they go Lightning Strike, Full Swing. Alright, what the heck. I'll wait. Because the chump, remember, yeah, the death doesn't happen with the exile on the etching, so... Oh, Brawler, you would have been so much better last turn when I had the 4 open. But at least we can still... It still comes down on the same turn, but now it doesn't do too much. Yeah, either way, it's probably going to be... Well, if it was another burn spell, they would have done it already, but like Monstrous Rage and stuff exists too, so they're probably getting through that way. Nano. And Power Up Foundry. And Full Swing, and they still have a mountain open. Alright, so we block the big one. The Wicked Roll gets through there. It was, in fact, a good game, opponent. Although I would have loved to be able to do more. It's still nice to see the build around cards when we see it, though. 34 minutes in, guys. 60% win rate overall. The opponent didn't hit mana theirs. I feel like we got a little lucky in some of those victories for sure. I say we try one more because the games have been pretty fast as well. And then we'll talk about the build again. So far as Jank goes, this has been pretty fun, Jank. This has been pretty sick. But how often are you actually going to be able to pull everything off? I'm not really sure. Oh. Opponent goes first. Well, we have turn 2 Jaxis Blitz to kind of like filter through. 26 mana total. We should see our third. Opponent going first here. That's what's leaning me towards the mulligan, but I'm going to keep it. It's kind of like I said, the rest of the matches can go however the heck they want. Like, it is what it is. We did the cool thing. The rest of the evening, just showcasing more of the list and what to expect from it. Warrior. Yeah, casting at blitz cost is probably going to be necessary, but we might not even get like our turn 3 properly here. Double Swift Spear, Kumana flips next turn. This is our turn 2. Definitely need to see mana off this Jaxis. Come on, mana. Okay, mana off the top then. Mana off the top. 26 doesn't feel like 26 all the time, huh? We got triple Brawler in hand, too. Godric comes down as a 4/4. Great swing for mono red. Down to 7, and our turn 3. Oh, no. We missed. Okay, so it's going to be... Can we survive next turn? Very, very unlikely that we survive. So we'll get Scamp down. So we probably should have mulliganed then. Like, that's one of those things where... You know, the more you play with the deck, the more you get that grip of, okay, this is not keepable for this build type of thing. And play with fire. Monstrous Rage. Play with fire. Very nice lineup. Chandra, Dress to Kill, underplayed in mono red. I've been saying that for a while, but it is just so good, dude. We block the big thing, drop them the GGs. Especially if you're playing Chandra Dress to Kill, man. Love that card. Down to a 50% win rate. Yeah, that's probably about right, honestly. You know, like when I post it, no matter how many cool things it did, or pretty much no matter how well it did today too, we'd probably have to assume that we were getting a little bit lucky as well. So, oh, a pack. Woohoo, mid-video pack. All right, Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Let's go. What we got, and it's a mythic. Ooh, oh, dude. We have to build around this jewel. We haven't yet. See if there's any new cards that pair well with it too. And new set, it's a rare. Calamity! What's up, dude? 3 up for the build? I think it's a sign. I think it's a sign, guys. Okay. Let's see. Yep, there's our third Calamity. Honestly, dude, if you don't have the Gruff Triplets, I guess we could consider the third Calamity. That was pretty sick, but everything seemed pretty expensive overall. This is a lot of 3-drops, okay? Like a ton of 3-drops. Like, look at this curve, and then it like just drops off the cliff here for the 4-drops. It's because like Jaxis has the Blitz for 2, and you're trying to like do a lot of fancy things with the Jaxis, and then instead of looking at it it kind of looks like a ramp curve where we're trying to ramp past the 4-drops. It's not. We just have plot on the Brawler. I never went over the Lukka at the beginning too, but that's what this more in-depth discussion is for. The Lukka has that +1 where you add Gruul colors, so a red and a green. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells or activate abilities of creatures. Since this is very much a Gruul creature build, I feel like that +1 would be huge for us. So if we end up doing this on 4, because it has the completed cost up there, as you can see, so you can pay 2 life and have Lukka come out with 2 fewer loyalty counters. So it'd be 3 loyalty, 4 mana cards. So you can see how that kind of fills the 4 mana spots with plotting and then the Lukka as well. Also has that -1 to generate some beasts, and those beasts work well with the Brawler too, as they don't come in as a 3/3. If you got that Brawler, it gets 3 counters too, so there's 6 6s, which is pretty cool. And it also has that -4, which acts as more removal in here, and the deck doesn't have too much removal overall, so that could be very important. So it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control as you activate this ability, which could be pretty huge in here. There's a lot of chunky creatures, again, with that Brawler being able to buff everything significantly anyways. A lot of really cool things today, man. Being able to copy things with that Brawler on the board just means that you have, like, You just get so many chunky things so fast. Maybe we do want that third brawler, man. Or like, first of all, I want to build around, not brawler. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting my cards mixed up today. Maybe we want to build around Calamity here soon. Use that third of, and then like just have a full build dedicated to this card. It was sick. That artwork's so good too, man. Just a really, really cool red card, isn't it? So let's see. Thrillseeker was great. Thrillseeker has always paired really nicely with Scamp. The big problem here is, yeah, I did really feel like there was a lot of 3-mana cards. So like, I wonder what we could do to kind of like, I want to say balance out the list a little bit more, but as you're stripping things out, you're starting to take away part of the soul of the build too, which was very much that I wanted to just play warriors. How many warriors are in here? We got 24 warriors. 24 warriors out of 26 creatures, so all of them except for the Calamity. That's really neat, man. I feel like Hot Spring would have been able to do a little bit more had we had a chance for further setup. That's one of the things with the meta right now, is it's really, really fast. You get to turn 3, and then the opponent has their turn 4, and there's a good chance that you just die if you haven't gained life or removed multiple of their things by then. This is why we're also seeing a lot of decks running board wipes, early board wipes too, temporary lockdown, Path of Peril, and things like that, right? And so it's a tough time, but when you are going up against those decks that they put together to go up against mono red, you have a great chance of actually establishing some setup and whatnot too, because there's actually a lot of value going on here. I really like Firebrand, but I wonder if there could be another warrior that would be a little bit better. But I love that top ability, and the domain in here. Cheapest it's going to be when you have a forest and a mountain on the board. It's going to be 4 mana, which actually isn't too bad when we do have 26 packed in. Do we want 27? It kind of felt like it, but at the same time, I don't think so, right? Because 26 is still a lot of mana, and I think I did get a little unlucky there with some of those where with 26 mana, you should be more than capable of getting 4 mana on by turn 4, which is very much what you want to do in here as you're establishing things, as you're as you're surviving, first of all. But then after the fact, like, you don't need your 5th mana right away or your 6th mana right away. That could come a little bit later, and that kind of feels like even with 26, it's going to come sooner than later anyway. So if we go up to 27, we might flood more often than not, which would be a shame. So I think that's where we want it. Anything else I want to say about the build? We did not get to see Samut do a thing today, or Samut? Samut? I always forget how to pronounce this. You guys have told me like multiple times, and it just completely gets flushed out of my head. I did like the 2 Jaxis, but I could see dropping down to 1 Jaxis too. It's kind of like a little flashy thing that goes off every now and then in here. So like just a 1 of totally makes sense to me. What would we end up going up? We need a little bit more utility, I would say. Since we're in green, maybe something that can pick up enchantments or something along those lines too. That could be pretty cool. Maybe this deck could be neat as like a Jund build too. Maybe we like go down a different path with this deck at some point in the future, especially if you guys really enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments for sure. Maybe we try out Jund, have some better removal packed in since we have black mana, but then also we can play cards like Terra Sunder too, which happens to be really good. So yeah, stuff like that. Who Endures? Yeah, of course I was about to say maybe we want 2 Who Endures, because there is a lot of artifacts and enchantments that we just don't mind hitting with this at all, using this as utility. So if you go up to 27 mana, maybe it could just be another utility land. That could be cool too, I suppose. Mirrex might have been interesting in here too. Just because you can generate a creature with the Brawler on the board. That's probably not worthwhile though, but it's something to think about. Okay, guys, hey, you made it this far into the video. Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. One of the main reasons to join up that Patreon is because of the suggestions. The order of priority is patron suggestions, then Discord suggestions, then comment suggestions. And especially at the beginning of a new set, a lot of them have been falling through the cracks, unfortunately, although I do my best to feature as many suggestions as possible. I always prioritize those patron suggestions first. That being said, like, this was a comment suggestion, so I still do my best to get around to a lot of the things. And again, the suggestion was specifically to build a Railway Brawler build. So we're going to have to revisit Railway Brawler at some point. This was a really fun card, wasn't it? Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? I will see you in the next video.